In the tapestry of life, every thread has its purpose. The golden strands of joy and achievement, the silver lines of wisdom and experience, and yes, even the dark, coarse fibers of pain and struggle. Each has its place. Each contributes to the overall pattern, but today we're going to focus on those dark threads, not to dwell on them, but to understand their true value. The pain you feel today will make you strong tomorrow. This isn't just a comforting phrase to get you tough times. It's a fundamental truth about the human experience, about the very nature of growth and transformation. The last time you faced a challenge that seemed insurmountable, perhaps it was a personal loss that left you reeling, a professional setback that shook your confidence, or a physical obstacle that tested your limits. In that moment, the pain felt overwhelming, didn't it? It consumed your thoughts, affected your sleep, maybe even made you question your purpose. But you're here now. You survived. And not only did you survive, but you gained something invaluable in the process. That's the paradox of pain. It breaks us down. But in doing so, it gives us the opportunity to rebuild ourselves stronger than before. It's like the process of forging a sword. The metal must be heated until it's nearly molten, then hammered repeatedly, folded and refolded, before it can become a blade of strength and beauty. Our trials and tribulations are the hammer and forge of life, shaping us into individuals of resilience and character. I'm not here to glorify suffering. Pain isn't something we should seek out or endure needlessly. The point isn't to suffer. The point is to grow through our suffering, to find meaning in our struggles and to use that meaning as fuel for our transformation. When you exercise, you're essentially causing controlled damage to your muscles. As you lift weights or run or swim, you create tiny tears in your muscle fibers. It's uncomfortable, sometimes even painful. But what happens next? Your body repairs those tears. And in the process, it builds the muscle back stronger than it was before. This same principle applies to our emotional and mental strength, the challenges we face, the setbacks we endure, the pain we experience. These are all opportunities for growth. They're the resistance against which we push, the weights we lift in the gym of life. This transformation doesn't happen automatically. It requires a conscious choice on your part. A choice to see your pain not as an endpoint, but as a beginning. A choice to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this experience make me stronger, wiser, more compassionate? It's about adopting what psychologists call a growth mindset. The belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. When we approach our pain with a growth mindset, we transform it from an obstacle into a teacher. There was once a young woman named Maya. From a young age, Maya dreamed of becoming a great writer. She devoured books, filled journals with her thoughts and stories, and dreamed of the day she'd see her name on the cover of a novel. But Maya's journey wasn't easy. She faced rejection after rejection. Publishers told her that her writing wasn't good enough, that her stories weren't marketable, that she should consider a different career. Each rejection was a dagger to her heart, each critique a blow to her confidence. The pain of repeated failure ate at Maya. She considered giving up, convinced that she simply wasn't cut out to be a writer. But something within her refused to quit. Instead of retreating from the pain, she leaned into it. She analyzed the rejections, identified her weaknesses, and crafted a plan to address each one. For months, Maya immersed herself in the craft of writing. She studied the works of authors she admired. Dissecting their techniques, she joined writing groups, exposing herself to constructive criticism. She rewrote and revised again and again, pushing herself beyond her comfort zone. It was a painful process, both emotionally and mentally. There were days when the words wouldn't come, when the voice of doubt screamed at her to stop. But Maya persevered. And slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, she began to change. Her writing grew stronger, her voice more confident. The techniques that once felt awkward became second nature. And then finally it happened. A publisher accepted her novel. But Maya's transformation went beyond just achieving her goal. The process of facing her pain, of pushing through it, had changed her. She was more resilient, more determined, more in tune with her craft than she ever would have been without those struggles. Maya's story isn't unique. History is filled with examples of individuals who use their pain as a catalyst for growth. Think about Nelson Mandela, who emerged from 27 years of imprisonment not bitter, but with a vision of reconciliation that transformed the nation. Or Frida Kahlo, who channeled the pain of a debilitating injury into creating art that still captivates the world today. These individuals didn't succeed in spite of their pain. They succeeded because of it. They allowed their struggles to shape them, to teach them, to reveal strengths they never knew they possessed. I know what some of you might be thinking. That's all well and good for exceptional people. But what about me? I'm just an ordinary person trying to get through each day. But that's where you're wrong. There's no such thing as an ordinary person. Each of you has within you the potential for extraordinary growth and achievement. Your pain, your struggles, your setbacks, these aren't punishments or obstacles. They're opportunities. Opportunities to discover what you're truly capable of when pushed to your limits. A time when you faced a challenge that seemed impossible. Maybe it was a difficult project at work, a personal goal that felt out of reach, or a relationship that required more than you thought you could give. Remember the anxiety, the doubt, the fear of failure. Those feelings were real and they were valid. But now think about what happened when you pushed through those feelings. When you refused to let the pain of uncertainty or the fear of failure hold you back. You discovered reservoirs of strength and creativity you never knew you had. You problem solved in ways you never had before. You grew. That growth, that strength, that resilience, it's yours now forever. No one can take it away from you. And the next time you face a challenge, you'll face it as this new, stronger version of yourself. This is the alchemy of pain. Its ability to transmute our struggles into strength, our setbacks into stepping stones. But how do we do this in practice? How do we transform our pain into strength? First, we need to acknowledge our pain. Don't try to run from it or numb it. Feel it fully. Understand it. This doesn't mean wallowing in it, but rather accepting it as a part of your current reality. Next, we need to reframe our relationship with pain. Instead of seeing it as something to be avoided at all costs, we can start to see it as a signal that we're pushing beyond our comfort zone, that we're in a place where growth is possible. Then we need to reflect on our pain. What is it teaching us? What weaknesses is it revealing? What strengths is it calling forth? Pain can be an incredible teacher if we're willing to listen to its lessons. After reflection comes action. How can we use the insights gained from our pain to make positive changes in our lives? Maybe it's developing a new skill, changing a harmful habit, or reaching out to others for support. Finally, we need to practice gratitude. This might seem counterintuitive when we're in pain, but finding things to be grateful for, even in our struggles, can shift our perspective and give us the strength to keep moving forward. A pearl begins as an irritant, a grain of sand or a parasite that the oyster can't expel. It's a source of pain and discomfort, but the oyster doesn't give up. Instead, it begins to secrete layer upon layer of nacre, slowly transforming the irritant into something beautiful and valuable. Your pain, your struggles, your challenges, these are the grains of sand in your life, and you have within you the power to transform them into pearls of wisdom, strength, and resilience. But this process takes time. It requires patience and persistence, just as the oyster must lay down layer after layer of nacre. You must continually work at transforming your pain into strength. It's not a one-time event, but an ongoing process of growth and transformation. This process isn't just about becoming stronger for your own sake. As you transform your pain into strength, you become better equipped to help others do the same. Your experiences, your growth, your resilience. These become a light for others who are still finding their way through the darkness. The people in your life who have inspired you with their strength and resilience. Chances are, these individuals have faced significant challenges of their own. They've known pain. They've known struggle. But they've allowed those experiences to shape them into better versions of themselves. They're like trees that have weathered many storms. Their roots run deep, their trunks are strong. Their branches reach high into the sky. The winds that once threatened to uproot them have only made them more firmly planted. You have the same potential within you. Every challenge you face, every setback you endure, is an opportunity to grow stronger, to develop new skills, to deepen your understanding of yourself and the world around you. But this growth doesn't happen in isolation. We are social creatures, designed to live and grow in community. When we face our pain alone, it can overwhelm us. But when we share our struggles with others, when we allow ourselves to be supported and to support others in turn, we create a network of resilience that can withstand any storm. A time when you've been there for a friend in need. Maybe they were going through a difficult breakup, or dealing with the loss of a job, or struggling with a health issue. As you supported them, as you listened to their pain and offered your strength, didn't you find that you grew stronger too? Didn't you discover reserves of compassion and wisdom that you didn't know you had? This is the beautiful paradox of human connection. In helping others through their pain, we often find healing for our own. In offering our strength, we become stronger. So as you face your own challenges, remember that you're not alone. Reach out to others. Share your struggles. Allow yourself to be supported. And in turn, be there for others when they need you. This web of mutual support and understanding is one of the most powerful tools we have for transforming pain into strength. Fear is often our first response to pain or the prospect of pain. It's a natural, instinctive reaction designed to protect us from harm. But while fear can keep us safe from physical dangers, it can also hold us back from emotional and personal growth. When we let fear dictate our actions, we often miss out on opportunities for growth and transformation. We stay in our comfort zone, avoiding the very experiences that could make us stronger. It's often more about our perception than reality. Franklin D. Roosevelt famously said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." What he meant was that our fear of pain, of failure, of the unknown, is often more debilitating than the actual experience of these things. So how do we move past fear? How do we step into the discomfort that leads to growth? It starts with understanding that discomfort is not your enemy. Discomfort is the feeling of pushing beyond your current limits. It's the sensation of growth happening in real time. When you feel uncomfortable, when you feel challenged, when you feel the ache of growth, that's when you know you're on the right track. If you're always comfortable, you're not growing. If you're never challenged, you're not improving. If you never feel the ache of pushing your limits, you're not getting stronger. This doesn't mean you should seek out pain or intentionally make your life difficult. But it does mean that when challenges arise, when pain comes, as it inevitably will, you can choose to see it as an opportunity rather than a setback. It's about reframing your perspective. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of thinking, I can't handle this. Think this is challenging. But I'm getting stronger. Instead of saying, I wish this wasn't happening. Say, this is difficult, but I'm growing through it. This shift in perspective can be transformative. It turns us from victims of our circumstances into architects of our own growth. It allows us to find purpose in our pain, to extract wisdom from our wounds. This isn't easy. It's one thing to talk about embracing pain and challenge when things are going well. It's another thing entirely to maintain this perspective when you're in the midst of a crisis, when the pain feels overwhelming, when the challenge seems insurmountable. In these moments, it's crucial to remember that strength isn't about never feeling weak. Strength is about continuing on even when you feel weak. It's about taking one more step when every fiber of your being is screaming at you to give up. You are stronger than you think. You have reservoirs of resilience within you that you haven't even tapped into yet. Sometimes it takes our greatest challenges to reveal our greatest strengths. Times in your life when you surprise yourself with your own strength. Maybe it was pushing through the final miles of a marathon when your body was screaming at you to stop. Maybe it was standing up to speak in front of a crowd despite your fear of public speaking. Maybe it was getting through a day at work with a smile on your face, even though your heart was breaking from a personal loss. These moments, these trials by fire, are what forge us into stronger, more resilient versions of ourselves. They're not pleasant. They're not easy. But they are invaluable. The strength you develop through your struggles today will carry you through the challenges of tomorrow. The resilience you build now will be the foundation upon which you face future trials. The wisdom you gain from your current pain will guide you through future difficulties. This is why it's so crucial to embrace our challenges, to lean into our pain. Not because pain itself is good, but because of what it can produce in us when we approach it with the right mindset. A diamond is formed under intense pressure. Without that pressure, it would remain mere carbon, unremarkable and common. But under the right conditions, that pressure transforms it into one of the hardest, most brilliant substances on earth. You are that diamond in the making. The pressures you face, the challenges you endure, the pain you feel, these are the forces that are shaping you into something extraordinary. But unlike a diamond, which is shaped by blind geological forces, you have the power to actively participate in your own transformation. You can choose how you respond to pressure. You can decide how you'll face your challenges. You can determine what you'll learn from your pain. This is where your power lies. Not in controlling what happens to you, but in controlling how you respond to what happens to you. This is the essence of true strength, not the absence of difficulty, but the ability to thrive in the face of it. So how do we cultivate this kind of strength? How do we develop the resilience to not just endure our challenges, but to grow through them? It starts with mindset. As we discussed earlier, adopting a growth mindset is crucial. This means seeing your abilities, your intelligence, your strength not as fixed traits, but as qualities that can be developed through effort and persistence. When you have a growth mindset, failure isn't a judgment on your worth or abilities. It's simply information. Feedback that tells you where you need to focus your efforts to improve. Pain isn't a punishment, but a signal that you're pushing beyond your current limits. Next, it's about practice. Just like you can't expect to run a marathon without training, you can't expect to handle life's biggest challenges without practicing resilience in your day-to-day life. This means intentionally putting yourself in situations that challenge you. It means stepping out of your comfort zone regularly. It means setting goals that scare you a little. Not because you're certain you can achieve them, but because you're excited to see what you'll learn in the attempt. It also means developing healthy coping mechanisms. This could be through meditation, which helps you stay centered and calm in the face of stress. It could be through journaling, which allows you to process your thoughts and emotions. It could be through exercise, which not only strengthens your body, but also boosts your mood and mental resilience. Another crucial aspect of building strength through pain is connection. As we discussed earlier, we're not meant to face our challenges alone. Building a support network, friends, family, mentors, give me a safety net for when things get tough. These are the people who will remind you of your strength when you forget, who will offer a different perspective when you're stuck, who will lend you their strength when yours is faltering. But connection isn't just about receiving support. It's also about giving it. When you help others through their pain, when you offer your strength to someone who's struggling, you reinforce your own resilience. You remind yourself of how far you've come, of how much you've grown. Your pain, once transformed into strength, becomes a gift you can offer to the world. Your struggles, once overcome, become a source of inspiration for others. Your resilience, once developed, becomes a light that can guide others through their own dark times. This is the ultimate alchemy of pain, its ability to transform not just you, but to ripple out and touch the lives of countless others. Your journey through pain and into strength becomes a beacon of hope, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, how your own change can affect those around you. When you overcome a challenge, when you push through pain and emerge stronger, you're not just changing your own life. You're showing others what's possible. You're expanding the realm of what people believe they can endure and achieve. This ripple effect is powerful and far-reaching. It starts with those closest to you. Your family, friends, and colleagues. They see your growth, your resilience, your ability to turn pain into strength. And in seeing this, they begin to believe that they too can face their own challenges with courage and determination. But it doesn't stop there. Your influence can extend far beyond your immediate circle. In a world connected by technology and social media, your story of transformation can reach people you've never met, in places you've never been. A single post about your journey, a video sharing your experience, or even just a conversation overheard in a coffee shop. These can be the spark that ignites someone else's transformation. The last time you were inspired by someone else's story of overcoming adversity, perhaps it was a book you read, a speech you heard, or a friend who shared their experience. How did that make you feel? Did it not give you a sense that you too could face your challenges head on? Did it not expand your notion of what's possible in the face of difficulty? This is the power you hold. When you transform your pain into strength, you become a living example of resilience, a walking testament to the human capacity for growth and transformation. And in doing so, you give others permission to believe in their own strength, to face their own pain with courage and hope. It's not just about inspiring others to face their challenges. It's about changing the very culture around pain and struggle. In many societies, there's a tendency to hide our pain, to put on a brave face and pretend everything is fine. We're often taught that showing vulnerability is a sign of weakness, that admitting to struggle is somehow shameful. But when you openly embrace your journey of transformation, when you're willing to talk about your pain and how you're growing through it, you help to shift this narrative. You show that it's not just okay to struggle. It's a natural and valuable part of the human experience. You demonstrate that vulnerability isn't weakness, but a form of courage. You prove that facing our pain head-on isn't just possible, but transformative. This cultural shift is crucial, because when we create an environment where it's acceptable to acknowledge our pain, where it's encouraged to talk about our struggles, we open up new possibilities for collective growth and healing. Imagine a workplace where employees feel safe discussing their challenges and seeking support. Picture a school where students are taught not just academic subjects, but also how to navigate difficult and evanescent experiences. Envision a society where seeking help for mental health is as normal and accepted as going to the doctor for a physical ailment. This is the kind of world we can create when we embrace the transformative power of pain. And it starts with each one of us being willing to face our own struggles with honesty and courage. This journey of transformation is not a one-time event. It's not about facing one big challenge, overcoming it, and then being set for life. Growth and transformation are ongoing processes. They require constant effort, continuous reflection, and a willingness to keep pushing beyond our comfort zones. You don't plant seeds once and expect to have a thriving garden forever. You need to water regularly, pull weeds, prune when necessary, and sometimes replant entirely. Our personal growth is much the same. We need to consistently nurture our strength, root out negative habits, cut away limiting beliefs, and sometimes completely reimagine aspects of ourselves. This ongoing nature of transformation can be challenging. It means that we're never really done growing. There will always be new challenges to face, new pain to process, new strengths to develop. But rather than seeing this as a burden, we can choose to see it as an adventure. Each new challenge is an opportunity to discover more about ourselves, to uncover strengths we didn't know we had, to push the boundaries of what we thought was possible. As you continue on this journey of growth, as you face each new challenge with the strength you've developed, you'll find that your capacity for transformation increases. What once seemed like an insurmountable obstacle becomes a manageable hurdle. Pain that would have once broken you becomes a catalyst for further growth. This doesn't mean that pain ever becomes easy to bear. It doesn't mean that challenges won't still shake you to your core sometimes. But it does mean that you approach these difficulties with a different mindset. You face them knowing that you've overcome before and you can do it again. You endure them with the confidence that comes from having transformed pain into strength in the past. Picture a mosaic, a beautiful work of art made up of countless small pieces. From a distance, you see a cohesive image, something striking and meaningful. But as you get closer, you start to see that each piece is unique. Some are smooth and polished. Others are rough and jagged. Some shine brightly. Others are more subdued. Your life is like this mosaic. Each experience you have, each challenge you face, each moment of pain and each triumph of strength, these are the individual pieces that make up the whole. Some of these pieces may seem ugly or unwanted when viewed in isolation. The pain of loss, the sting of failure, the ache of heartbreak. These can seem like blemishes on the beautiful life you're trying to create. But step back and you begin to see how these pieces fit together. You see how the dark pieces provide contrast that makes the bright pieces shine even more brilliantly. You see how the rough, jagged pieces add texture and depth to the overall image. You see how even the most painful experiences have contributed to the beauty and meaning of your life as a whole. This is the ultimate perspective on pain and strength. It's about recognizing that every experience, good or bad, painful or joyful, has its place in the masterpiece of your life. It's about understanding that strength isn't about avoiding the dark pieces or the rough pieces, but about integrating them into a meaningful whole. To see your pain not as something to be avoided at all costs, but as raw material for your growth and transformation. To view your challenges not as obstacles to be overcome, but as opportunities to uncover new strengths. Remember, the pain you feel today is shaping the person you'll be tomorrow. And that person is stronger, wiser, and more capable than you imagine. Trust in this process of growth. Believe in your capacity to overcome. And watch as you transform your pain into your greatest strength. The journey won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Because on the other side of your pain lies a version of yourself that you've always dreamed of becoming. A version that's resilient in the face of adversity, compassionate in the face of suffering, wise in the face of uncertainty.